This week on One Crazy Story, comedian Wes Ward joins us to talk about a fight he got into in junior high.
I took my shoe and I kicked it at him. I didn't know how to fight. I don't know how to fight. I'm just doing everything I can possibly do.
I kicked my shoe off.
I kicked my shoe at him and he ducked it. People were like, "Holy fuck!" So let's just kick the shoe off at that guy.
Hey everybody, this is Nate Armbruster, host of the One Crazy Story podcast, and if you're enjoying everything you've been listening to, please do us a favor and go on over to iTunes and leave a good review. Good if you like it. If you don't like it, I guess don't do anything, please. It wouldn't be helpful. And hopefully you'll enjoy this episode. This episode, I talked to my good friend and comedian Wes Ward. We talk a little bit about bullying. He was bullied growing up, and he, eventually, the kid that's getting bullied, he's going to have to defend himself. And that's exactly what Wes did. Wes took it to a place where, let's just say, no one messed with him after this one particular day in junior high. So enjoy this episode with Wes Ward.
I was bullied a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Through elementary school into the middle of middle school.
Mm-hmm.
And basically I didn't realize the reasons I was getting bullied until I got older. And I was just annoying. That was the main thing. I was an annoying kid.
Sure.
So of course I was getting my ass beat. That's just how...
This is how it works.
Yeah. So
you also don't realize.
I've said it before. I've said this before, but I don't believe in parents punishing kids by hitting them and stuff like that. But I do think every person should get a beat down.
Oh yeah,
one time in their life. Should know that can happen to you, so you know how to act in public.
See, that's my biggest fear is getting jumped because I would lose. I would die. I wouldn't. I don't know how to defend myself.
Skill?
No fighting abilities whatsoever. Right. I've luckily gotten through life. No schoolyard fights, nothing like that. I've always been kind of guy just I don't really give a shit. I think I was the only person in my immediate circle of people that realized none of this shit really matters. I'm like, you're really gonna fight right now? Go ahead.
Well, I was in a different thing. I think I was just, saying before, you gotta get the shit kicked out of you a couple times to figure out what you really are.
Yeah.
I didn't get really bullied in high school much because by then I figured out just to shut the fuck up pretty much. I just shut up most of the time. So I knew if I just stay quiet or if I would say something it'd be kind of funny. I was developing my sense of humor.
I think that's where my humor came in too, is that I would break whatever tension it is with some stupid absurd because I would just own it. I mean, that's the most ridiculous thing, and I'd be like, I don't know, it's me.
I did.
I just said that.
Yeah, so I just want to paint what I look like because I don't know. Kindergarten up until 5th grade. For the first couple years, I have a lazy eye going into kindergarten.
Oh, really?
Right? So I have a lazy eye.
Oh, that sucks. That's hard enough for me to understand now.
Right.
Because my first thought was how'd that go away?
No, I'm also tiny. I'm a little I'm not as tall as all the other kids, and I'm really skinny. It's a crazy. I was preemie and never got out of it. That's what I look like. I wasn't premature, but I'm saying if I was, and I just never really.
Yeah,
I just always had that weird preemie body.
Grown up preemie.
Yeah, grown up preemie. So Howie Mandel sitcom when I was a kid, I watched.
Ooh, we got to keep that. We should write that.
Yes.
This fall on NBC.
Go ahead and pause this now so we can start our spec script.
Grown up preemie.
So basically, so that was probably the origins of getting picked on. I used to have an eye patch on my right eye so it could straighten out my eye.
Oh, that's how they do that?
Yeah, and honestly, I don't remember getting... So
you went in, as a kid, you had to go to school for a while with an eye patch and explain that to other kindergartners? Right. That's tough.
And that comes back later. I'll tell you how it kind of comes back later. It's one of the best insults.
Oh, God.
To this day. I've been reflecting a lot on my childhood lately and because I think when you get older, you start to go, where is all the bad stuff from me coming from? Where did that come from?
Yeah.
Or at least
I do the same thing.
Yeah, right.
I'll have a moment where I'm That's exactly why I do that right now.
Right.
Like you realize, you realize where some bad habit of yours now comes from.
Right. I got in high school. I got diagnosed with ADD by a counselor.
Mm-hmm.
This is how you know, like how some people just shouldn't have certain jobs.
Yeah.
She's like, I can tell you have ADD. I have ADD. I was like, oh yeah, like I never even thought about having ADD. Like it makes a lot of sense. I don't pay attention a lot. I'm very rambunctious. And then she goes, here is a book you can read on ADD, and it was like 300 pages. And I'm like, if you were good at your job, you realize there's no kid with ADD.
Yeah, if you had ADD, miss, you wouldn't have read this book.
You would have known.
You read this?
I'm going to skim this book, and I'm going to go outside and play.
Yeah.
This is the stupidest thing.
That's hilarious. Like, what a bad counselor.
What a terrible counselor.
Yeah,
right?
I would realize that.
Right.
I'm the least educated.
Here's a book on it. Oh, you have
a 300-page book.
Oh, you're blind? Well, here's a book on it. You might as well have done that. It would have been the same exact thing. So like going through, and I got picked on a lot. I just say stupid stuff, mostly like that's not true. Whatever. Or I was doing dumb things. I didn't know when to shut up.
I like your impression of yourself as a kid.
And I'd always
just kind of obnoxious.
I had a basically a free reign. I have a dad that was born in 1956, and he grew up without putting him on blast, he's a good dad, but he grew up a garbage person. He really did. He was one of 13 kids.
But he's successful if he turned out to be a good dad.
Honestly, I was thinking about this the other day. My dad is the best version of what he could have been.
And that's what
the bad. Like he's not great.
That's all you can ask of.
He's got a ton of flaws. He's very flawed, but he is the best he possibly could have turned out without ever having to work on it, because he couldn't work on stuff. People didn't work on things.
No, that's
generation.
new. That's still a new thing.
Yeah. He everything that was alcohol and gambling. Yeah. That's how people work stuff out. So my dad grew up this garbage person that fought in pits and broke into things, and he was a crazy. But so he instilled on me this one lesson, and the lesson was you can hit somebody back. You're allowed to. You have to stick up for yourself, which is crazy to think about it now. What a dumb suggestion. What a dumb thing to say to a kid, but also just dumb advice, because I have to wait till somebody hits me. I can't.
Yeah.
Why can't I hit first?
Well, yeah, telling a kid
if I know the guy's gonna hit me, why don't I just hit him in first?
I understand what he's saying.
I understand what he means too. Don't ever be the one that starts it.
But when you're a kid, you don't know. You're it's okay. All you hear is it's okay to hit somebody. I don't know. And I guess
never started the fight physically. It was always they would egg it on, and he'd make fun of me, and then I'd go way too far, and then that's when the shit kicked in. I knew this kid in 3rd grade. The first fight I really remember getting into. This kid, basically, when I look back on him as a 3rd grader, he was a foot taller than me, and he had probably 50 pounds on me, which is crazy for a 3rd grader.
Or 3rd grader,
right? And he was this big, bulky 3rd grader, and I was just this skinny pile of runt with an eye patch. I don't even know what I was doing.
Oh my god!
And this kid's making fun of me, and I knew that his parents had just gotten divorced.
Oh, dude!
And I'm well, at least my parents are still together, and I got hit so many times, and I deserved it. Now, yes, I was getting picked on.
I was getting picked on. If you say the right thing, that shit cuts deep.
Exactly. So
that hurts way more than getting hit. I'm that's fine. You'll be thinking about this in 20 years, and you'll be that's right. My parents don't love each other.
That guy, opiate problem.
Guaranteed.
No.
Have you ever looked any of these people up?
No, I stayed far away from that.
You should open up those.
Not all fights were like that. A lot of fights were more
verbal, just whatever.
We're just gang beat ups, kids just being that kid's weak. Let's beat the shit out of him. That happened.
Where did you go to school? What area?
I went
Michigan?
to Rain City High School.
Okay.
Rain City is our Rain City
Michigan.
Schools. In general, and it's a weird place.
Small town.
Very small town. Think
how many people were in the high school?
Oh my! Well, in my graduating class, there was only 120.
Yeah, so everybody knows everybody.
Yeah, everyone knows,
especially
everyone.
in the schools.
And you grow up with everybody. So
you saw all these people from eye patch days to
from one-eye day to two-eye days,
Yes,
right?
yes,
And yeah, so like you grow up with them, and you pick your favorites, and you kind of hang out with them your whole life.
Yeah.
Like I still have friends from when I was in elementary school now. You know what I mean? So they didn't get. I don't remember them getting picked on very much. It was just me. I was just like I said. I was just like that runty kid. And I would get into fights. Blah blah blah. A lot of teachers kind of stuck up for me. I was pretty good in class, so they weren't.
Yeah,
terrible.
you were a good student.
I was a pretty good student in
they
elementary
had your back
school
when you needed it.
So yeah, they were like, oh man, it's gonna get deep.
Okay,
can we get deep?
Yeah, we can get deep.
Yeah, okay, so going into middle school is the worst time for any kid. I think it's universally. You always hear sometimes like this. You hear like the phrase like high school were my best days, but you never hear anybody go middle school. That's where it was at.
You're right. Nobody
was peaking in middle school.
I've never heard that.
Nobody's like that was my time. Middle school, 8th grade flag football.
Yeah, it's tough for everybody.
Middle school for nobody's tough, but it's especially tough I think for kids who were nerdy and
had eye patches.
Then nerdy. We're talking before you were allowed Marvel turned everything around,
Yeah.
This is like getting struck. Like sometimes I feel like I got sacrificed for the nerds now. Like that's how it kind of feels,
Yeah, you paved the way.
I paved the way for those goddamn nerds, and you hear me. It's all me.
It's all Wes Ward.
It was all me.
Wes with his eye patch.
I took all those ass beatings, and I remember the one of the boiling points. I still remember this. I was in 6th grade, and there was a girl sitting next to me. I won't name her because I don't know. Fuck her. But this girl
just
named
say
Elizabeth.
first name. Yeah,
Elizabeth.
That's fair.
Sitting next to me, and she kept just snapping a rubber band on my arm.
Aw, man.
Right?
What an awful thing. That was a thing in 6th grade for I remember people in 6th grade doing that to people.
Right.
And it was like a prank thing.
Relentless.
Yeah, and you clearly weren't enjoying
it. Just
that.
like looking at her, and it hurt.
Yeah.
Right?
God.
And I remember this like I said, it's going to get deep. She did it like so much, and I couldn't stop her. And then it's the the tears start coming, and you can't because you're 6th grade. You're going through
6th grade,
puberty
you don't know.
On. You don't know what's happening. You can't stop her. I can't punch her in the face.
And it just hurts.
And
then it hurts physically and emotionally.
Yeah,
after
and
a
this
while.
guy behind me who was like a bully to me. He's just like, dude, just hit her. I wouldn't even say anything. Just hit her right in the face. And I just looked at him like, fuck you. I can't hit this woman. What, do you think I'm going to hit this 6th grader in the face? I'd never live that down.
Yeah.
If I hit her, I would be destroyed.
And it's a girl, man.
And it's a girl. That was the main point.
Yeah.
I can't hit her.
That's good.
That was in my head.
The fact that you knew that at that age,
right.
That's good.
So I go to that counselor. This is how shitty this counselor is again.
Your ADD
counselor comes back, and I tell her everything, and she goes to the teacher, and the next day that she's moved to the front of the class. Well, guess what? She knew who did it. That's not how you punish somebody.
Yeah.
And they embarrassed her in front of everybody, which sounds great. But guess who the brunt of that comes back on?
It's all Wes's
Comes back
fault.
on me.
Yeah.
So 3rd hour comes by. We're sitting in science class. She comes up to me and she just goes, I know you got me moved. And you're fucking dead.
Wow.
And I'm like, Jesus, I'm going to get killed by a woman in 6th grade.
All from moving her seat.
All from getting her seat moved and rubber band snappings, So that's kind of like the dichotomy I was growing up in. Fearing. I didn't want to go to school. Right. I'm like, oh, this is awful.
Dude, that's tough.
Right? It is tough.
Especially for, a kid that can't really, I don't know, you can't, what do? You can't leave.
And I didn't know, and I was once again, I was still small then. I think I was the shortest or the second shortest kid in 6th grade. And then over the summer in 6th grade, I had a growth spurt, like a huge one. I went from being the shortest kid to kind of almost the tallest kid. I was about 5'4" in 7th grade.
So you took some crazy steroids.
Yeah,
over
I was
summer.
lifting.
I'll show you bullies.
I was smoking.
Yeah,
I was
right.
like, come on.
It's like that scene from Rocky. Just
right, exactly. I had Burgess Meredith was there, and he was helping me out.
You're buying rubber bands.
Come on, Wesley, you're not that big of a pussy.
Yeah, you're buying a bunch of rubber bands.
I have shields over my arms so no one can hit me with them.
Start wearing long sleeves and
exactly. So 7th grade comes phone's about. I got a group of friends. I'm feeling a little bit better.
Yeah.
I'm getting picked on, but it's not as much. And I'm my verbal comebacks are getting better.
Is helping
right.
you through
It's
it.
I'm watching Larry Sanders. I'm watching things I shouldn't be.
There
and
you
now
go.
I'm like being better at like
little Larry Sanders show.
Right. Cheers. Like, I'm watching shit I shouldn't be watching at like in 7th grade, right?
Yeah.
Conan, I think, has come out at that point. So this was 1993.
But that's when the comedies entered your life, pretty much. You know, that's what kind of
it really
and it got you through some bullshit.
It really did. A lot of the times, it's funny that you think about that is that a bullying now, you never get a break.
No, it's just you go home from school.
Go home and it's on Facebook and Twitter and Snapchat and Instagram and that Sarah Raha site and all of these things now. Everyone can just bully you at all times. That's why I think it really blows.
It's gotta suck growing up now.
Oh, and that's what I hate it when people are like, bullying when I was a kid was way worse, blah, blah, blah. It wasn't. It was more fun. It wasn't fun, but it was more like verbal beatdowns, like you said.
I think it was easier to get through.
Yeah, and you can avoid, and you could go home and you could just...
Yeah, you had a safe place to go
God.
where no one, unless your parents were awful,
Y'all, if your parents are shit, now you're really screwed. Now you're
sucks,
just John Wayne Gacy or some shit.
Yeah, or then there's some... Then there's some people that had the opposite, where they had like shitty parents, and they would just go, "I can't wait to go to school."
Yeah, and they'd be like, "They're probably the coolest kids. They're probably the ones bullying."
I don't
want
to go. Can I stay at your house tonight?
Right. I have good parents that are.
Why do you want to sleep over every day, Wes? But yeah, no. Nowadays, it's got to be.
It's got to be worse.
Yeah.
No matter what. So I go into 7th grade. This is when the fight happens.
The fight. The life changer.
So we used to have a thing in open gym. I don't know if you had that in your school.
Oh, yeah, we would have that occasionally.
So on Wednesday nights...
It was like a privilege for me.
It was awesome. I loved it.
Yeah.
I would go with my friends. We'd play basketball or whatever. Yeah. And it was the one time it was weird that like the cool kids and the nerdy kids would kind of like come together and everyone would have fun, Yeah. Nobody was picking on each other. Except for this one kid named Joe who... If any of my friends listen to this, they'll know him as soon as I say his name. They're like, "Oh, fuck that guy."
Yeah.
We were playing basketball against. I was actually pretty good at basketball. I was very. I kind of had like weird fundamentals. I it was like another escape.
You were the Steph Curry of Marine City.
No joke. One time I scored in sideline basketball. I scored 22 points. No jokes. I peaked in 7th grade.
That's not a bad time to peak.
It is. It's terrible. It all goes downhill. You have another 45, 50 years.
If you're lucky.
So basically, we're in the open gym. We're playing basketball, having a good time. And this kid, Joe, he shoots. I run over and I block his shot. Mm-hmm. And now all of his friends that are jocks are making fun of him.
Yeah. I can just hear this kind of
piece of shit. Do you know the basically it was really like that. And you know
street ball, man.
You know, like the kid that is kind of friends with the jocks, but he's only friends with the jocks because like he's like the one that gets ragged on with the jocks.
He's like the loser of the jocks.
He's the loser of the jocks. He's really a piece of shit. Like those guys are even like, ugh.
Yeah,
that was that kid. That was that kid. He was he was a vile person.
Pretty broy.
Yeah, he was terrible. He never really learned either. As he got older, he was worse and worse.
Ugh.
So, so I blocked a shot, and then he picks the ball up, and he just slams it into my, like, he took that,
as hard as he could, right in the face. So how far away were you? Like, point blank?
I was about as far away as I am from you, like a table's length away, not even.
What a childish reaction.
Right. Well, I mean, for 7th grade, so I guess it would be the right reaction as a child. And I remember this rage coming over me, like I have never felt.
Sure. That's the worst.
So this is
man.
the first night of it. So we start. It starts like that, and I shove him, and then he comes at me, and then I remember I didn't, for some reason, I still don't remember this day. I never really punched him. I just smacked him. I don't know why.
A good smack though is embarrassing.
Oh my God, he got embarrassed that
when
day.
you're the victim of the smack. A good smack, and you get that good sound that.
Yeah, and everyone was like, "Oh shit, he just smacked the shit out of you."
Oh shit.
And
getting smacked, I think, is way worse than getting
we're wrestling
punched.
on the ground, and I picked him up, and I had him in like a such a goofy wrestler headlock, and I'm just pounding on him like I'm Nolan Ryan and Robert Ventura. Like
you start doing wrestling moves.
Yeah, I'm doing
That's
like
great.
I remember at one point
You're not really hitting him.
This is a real story. I took my shoe and like I kicked it at him. Like I didn't know how to fight. I don't know how to fight. I'm just doing everything I can possibly do.
I kicked my shoe off.
I kicked my shoe at him and he
That's
ducked it. People were like, "Holy fuck!" So let's just kick the shoe off at that guy.
That's so intense,
crazy, isn't it? It was intense.
I love that. That's your like signature move. That's it's like your Mr. Sacco.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So now we're sitting there and we're squaring off, and I don't really remember getting hit much. There was a circle around us, and I remember at one point. He came at me, and I just caught him one good shot, and he went flying down. And the best part was his brother was there.
Yeah,
his brother's there, and his brother, and he's in like on the ground, and he gets up, and his brother's just like, "Get the fuck back in there!" And he shoved him back.
Oh shit!
So now you know where this kid's coming from.
So his brother forced him into this fight?
Now you know where all this is stemming. All this rage is stemming from.
Yeah.
So we eventually it breaks up. I don't really remember how it ended. I just remember it just ended. Those fights just kind of ended.
Eventually, how long can you fight for?
Yeah, right. And we're just standing out there, and because the principal got called down, and we're just standing out there, and there's just like. You do that thing when you have that anger and all the just tears. Like both of us are crying. We're just like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah,
because that's how much anger is being involved in this, embarrassment.
Yeah,
and we end up. She ends up just being like, "Listen, you two just need to shake hands, get over it." And she was cool about it.
Yeah. Well, because what are you gonna do?
Right.
You gotta tell.
It was an open gym,
it's done.
and she's like, "Look, we don't want to end this thing. We don't want this." We don't want open gym to be ended because of this. So you guys need to put your different. You just need to shake hands.
I think
and
it's
get
a good
over
way
it.
to handle it. It's like,
I thought it was too.
Just a couple of kids fighting, being dicks, and you're just like, look, stop it.
Exactly.
It's done. You both. Well, one of you got your licks in. And,
Yeah.
And I heard your brother threw you back in. That's kind of funny.
That's kind of really fucked up. Your brother must not love you.
Yeah.
Your
is
parents
that where this is coming?
This
from?
is all coming from that.
I'm gonna send
telling
you down to our ADD counselor. She'll fix all of this.
She'll have you read a book that
Yes.
you won't pay attention to. It's gonna be a good time.
Wow. Yeah. So she just tries to put the
She
kibosh on it.
She puts the flame out. Also, she didn't see anything, so she was just. I think a janitor broke it up. Now that I remember,
having an adult's perspective on it now, it's like
I'm shocked the janitor didn't throw money down.
Right.
Like, I got 20 on the kid right there.
Yeah, give me the big one.
Give me the one with the eye patch.
Yeah, who kicked his shoe? Which one?
Yeah. We got sweet. I don't even care if he loses or wins.
Oh, he kicked his shoe.
He kicked his shoe. He's dirty as fuck. He'll bite that kid's eyeball out.
Anyone who kicks his shoe is good in my book. I kick shoes at my. He's like I used to kick shoes at my victims.
Let me tell you.
Let me tell you, kid. You gotta kick your shoe. You gotta work on your aim. You gotta
I used to wear high heel pumps just so I could kick the shoe at people. People used to make fun of me, but they weren't making fun of me when that little heel hit him right in the eye, did they?
I broke a stiletto right off in Joe's face. That's so funny. Oh my god. Yeah. So the principal. This all ends. Right. Everybody goes their separate ways.
And I think, okay, this is over. I've gotten over this. This is good.
Did you guys shake hands?
We did. We had to shake hands in front of him.
Could you feel the
hate him? I felt like you.
You felt like it was a genuine. I was on leave it
right.
Leave it here.
There's a different podcast I was just on, and Blaine, who's a local comic, said it best. He said that there's a tension that men just have with each other that can sometimes just be kiboshed by physical assault.
Yeah,
oddly,
sure.
It's weird. I know there's a dumb New Girl episode about it or something, but like, it's true.
But when guys fight, it's usually like, fuck you, and then it's
fuck
done.
You. Two punches. And then we're
whatever.
over.
It's usually like it doesn't sit.
Sometimes it's not even. Sometimes it is verbal. Sometimes it's just a big argument, like yelling in an Olive Garden somewhere. I don't know.
That's another story for another time.
Yeah. So let me tell you about.
I only fight at Applebee's.
I fought a janitor with stiletto heels in an Olive Garden parking lot.
Olive Garden. When you're there, your family.
So the next day comes, and I'm feeling like. I knew it was going to be the talk of the school because that's just how it is. And people were coming like, dude, that was fucking crazy. We were there.
Small
people
school. You kicked your shoe off, man.
Yeah, you kicked your shoe off, man.
I don't know why I'm stuck on this shoe thing.
Fuck on him. People were like, dude, honestly, when you slapped him, I thought it was way better than you punching him. They were doing that to me. They were talking me up, I'm feeling a little bit better.
Well, it's good. It's a confidence boost a little bit.
It was. It made me feel good. It made me not feel like the piece of... And that sounds terrible.
You're not fighting for that reason, but you hit back.
I hit back
because
that was this is what I'm trying to say, kids. If you're getting bullied, beat the shit out of somebody. It will help you. No.
But I mean, like, it was called for. Your actions were, like, what do you expect? What do you expect you to do? Just, like, sit there?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it makes sense why you would go after him. And then
exactly.
What do you want? The result of that is just, yeah, of course, you defended yourself. I'm not going to fuck with Wes.
I felt amazing.
Not now. Not that I can see. That guy kicks shoes. I'm stuck on this shoe thing.
It's hilarious.
It's
Who
so
kicks
funny.
a shoe?
It's because I imagine you. It's because I've only known you as a grown man. So I imagine you now kicking your shoe as a grown man. And I just
you don't imagine me as a child doing it.
No, I imagine.
But think about the thought process. It's like, I'm going to kick the shoe off. Even if it would have hit him, what would it have done? It wouldn't have done nothing.
That's great.
I must have threw a pillow at him. I'm holding the mic stand like I'm nervous.
It's okay. You're allowed to.
Like,
it's the comic in you.
Yeah. Yeah, so I get to school. People are building my confidence up all day, and they're just telling me, like, dude, that was hilarious, blah, blah, blah. Then I remembered, if people are doing this to me,
what are they doing to Joe?
What are they doing to Joe? Right?
Mm-hmm.
So basically, everything you've been saying to me, they've been looking at Joe and saying the opposite.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you got the shit kicked out of you. Wes beat the fuck out of you. You're a pussy. I can't believe you let him do that to you. God. All this stuff. And
yeah, so Joe's just having a horrible day.
Right. Yeah, Joe's having a terrible day. And I'm not even thinking about this. You know?
Right. But you guys, like, you just ended it.
I remember
after
this girl.
fight.
I remember this girl I had a crush on in middle school.
Mm-hmm.
This guy goes to the girl. They go, I don't remember her name.
Tracy. We'll call her
Tracy. Her name's Tracy. What's it say?
Yeah.
They're like, who won the fight, Wes or Joe? And she just goes, Wes beat the shit out of him. And I just remember, like,
yeah, dude.
Yeah, all right. So this is what I got to do to get women?
What up, Tracy? What up, Tracy?
What up? You're probably dead. It's probably true.
It's small town.
Dead people.
A lot of dead people in Marine
Opiate
City.
problems. It's terrible. I shouldn't say that. It's true.
Mean, well,
but anyway,
it is.
So basically, yeah, so that's going on, and then, like, the day's going, and then the end of the day, I'm sitting at my locker, I'm putting all my stuff away, and all of a sudden, I have the hook in the locker? So all of a sudden, I feel my face just go boom right towards it, and the hook hits me in the cheek, and I just turn around, and Joe is standing there again.
Oh my God.
He's looking at me like people have been feeding him, like, you're a piece of shit, you're a pussy.
Shit has been simmering
all day now for 8 straight hours, 6 hours or whatever. This guy's been getting hammered by people.
Wow.
And he just shoves me. And once again, that nerd rage kicked in. And this wasn't just...
And now you're confident.
And now I'm confident, which is 20 times more dangerous.
Yeah.
Because now I'm like, fuck this kid.
Yeah.
He deserves it. And now, you can confirm this with any friends you would like. The entire school is standing in the hallway. I turned, and I remember this. I grabbed his coat,
and
I just pulled it, and I just started beating the fuck out of this kid.
Right in the face?
Right in the face. I could feel my knuckles hitting every part of him, and I still remember it. And I'm just like, I was relentless. I wouldn't let go. Eventually, someone yelled, "Teacher!" And when he came up, his eye was this part was just completely cut. He had blood coming out of his mouth and nose, and he's just looking at me like, what the fuck? And the best part is I remember...
Is he even trying at this point?
I think because
you just smoked him.
I smoked him so
chance.
hard that it was over. I had him like a hockey jersey.
Yeah, that's
almost.
a smart move.
And also you can't
do anything when that jersey's over. Yeah,
soft, but mistake on his part. You don't wear a goddamn coat during a fight.
I thought you were gonna say a jersey.
Yeah, he's wearing a huge hockey
that day
jersey.
to school.
He threw his gloves off when I turned around.
Why are you wearing mitts, man?
Man, this is really weird. It's like a role play thing you're into. You don't wear a coat or anything because once you get it grabbed, that was such soft padding for my knuckles that I could have punched him forever. God. It would have been fantastic. And I just remember someone yelling, "Teacher, teacher," and everyone scattered, and he like scattered off, blood, blah blah blah. I remember looking at my hand and it just be covered in blood. It looked like I had like destroyed this poor kid. Not poor kid. Fuck him. He's a piece of shit.
Yeah,
he later was still a piece of shit. He really was. He didn't learn anything from it.
You were like, this was done. What are you talking about?
This was done. Yeah, he didn't learn anything from this.
You shoved my eye into a hook? Or I could be blind.
I could have been blind, right?
I mean, yeah.
So I end up like standing back and I'm like, adrenaline pumping, and it's the end of the day, and everyone's left, and this kid named Henry's standing next to me, and Miss Walton, who's a teacher, comes up, and she's just like, what happened? And Henry just goes, Wes beat the fuck out of Joe. And the teacher just looks at him like, what? Did you say fuck? And he looks at me and he's like, Wes, did you beat up Joe? Like, what's going on? And I remember just looking at me, and I remember giving him this look, and I didn't realize what it was until I was older. It was kind of like a look like, yeah, he probably needed that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he probably asked for it, huh?
Yeah, and I never got picked on after that. Not once.
That'll change your reputation.
It not that it was like a. I mean, I got picked on, but it was more like verbal, and I was able to like combat it with jokes.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you knew the difference. You hit back,
and also learned
between hit and hit back,
and also learned to shut the fuck up. It helped me to shut the fuck up. Just don't talk. There's no reason to. There's no reason to.
Gives a shit.
You have friends and be with them. You don't need to talk to everybody in school. You don't need to be popular. Just get through the day. Yeah. That's all you need to do.
Just get through the day.
So that's what I did for the next 7 years.
So no fights ever after that? No physical?
There was like scuffles. Yeah. I had a little fight with a kid named Brandon, but it was just more like...
Brandons are usually...
Yeah, he was a douche. He was fine. He's probably a good guy now. But like we had like a scuffle on the floor. Sure. I'm trying to think if I got in any fights after
but that was definitely the peak. That was the worst one you'd ever been.
That was probably the best fight I've ever been in, not the worst.
Yeah.
Worst
well,
fight?
I should say most intense. How about that?
Yeah. I mean, I had like little fights. I got thrown off a bike once. It was but I was in elementary school. It doesn't count. No, that's That was the one I remember like going like, okay, that's the turning point.
Yeah. We got to stop this right here.
Right, exactly.
I could have probably killed Joe, which would be horrible.
Wouldn't have killed him because I was a little tiny. Think about it.
Him in the right spot.
I think the best MMA fights would be against 2 7th graders.
You're right.
Because then nobody would ever get really hurt.
They're hitting. They're like
even
athletes.
Their hardest hit is like the lightest hit.
Yeah, I guess you're right. But yeah, you're right.
If it's like 2 7-year-olds,
like a UFC fighter. They're trained athletes.
Not like a 7th grader against a UFC fighter.
Oh yeah, awful, no, I mean like two.
That would be. You don't want to do that.
That would be really
John Jones versus me when I was in 7th grade.
John Jones.
If he wears a coat, let me tell you something. John Jones wore a coat. He'd be fucked.
Yeah, don't wear a coat to a UFC fight.
Ever.
If there's ever a lesson,
Brock Lesnar learned that. Oh no, I want to make it clear to everybody too. I am not some great fighter.
No.
That was one.
No, you
fight.
just got through a difficult time.
I got through a difficult time.
The only way you knew how in that moment.
And people still to this day talk about it.
And you turned out to be a good person.
No, I turned out to be a garbage fire. But besides that, I am.
But so people remember this? Have you been to any reunions or anything? Is that what you said?
Just my friends remember it. They were just all like, "Holy
shit!" That's a fun memory.
It's a respect
when you grow up and you're in your 30s or whatever. It's good. It's
great.
Memory.
It's a good story to remember. I've never done it on stage. I might want to do it.
Yeah, it'd be worth trying for sure.
I want to try it. I've been like reflecting more and more on my childhood.
Yeah.
Oh, I never told you my worst insult.
Oh,
so like for a little bit in 5th grade, I wore the eye patch again because I had corrective surgery when I was in kindergarten, and it took for the most part. But when I'd get tired or I was drinking, not in 5th grade, but like I found that out later. In 6th grade when most people start drinking, my eye would go in again.
Yeah.
So in 5th grade, I was wearing a patch then for like a couple weeks. And I just remember this kid. He just goes, "Man, you look like Lazy Eye the Pirate." And I remembered that yesterday.
Yeah.
Like I was sitting down, I'm just like, that cut deep.
Yeah.
But it was so funny. That's like a Jeff Ross roast joke.
That's hilarious. Lazy Eye the Pirate.
Lazy Eye the Pirate, which is also my rap name now.
Yeah, right? Lazy Eye the Pirate? I'd go see him. That's a good like
Lazy Eye. Has there ever been a rapper named Lazy Eye?
I don't think so. You're a wrestling guy though.
Biggie.
Lazy Eye?
Lazy Eye wouldn't be a good wrestler name.
No, you don't think so?
He'd be a jobber, what they call a jobber. He'd be the guy always looking up at the lights. He'd be constantly losing.
Okay. Well, you got a job, though.
Yeah, jobber.
A job.
Yeah. They called that.
Do you have a website or anything you want to plug?
Oh, no. I can just give my Twitter.
Oh, yeah. What's
Twitter.
your...
I have 2. Oh, my God. I'm going to do this because I forgot the other.
You got 2 Twitters.
I do. I have Wes Ward Comedy. and I have one that is kind of an experimental one.
Is it like a mock account or like a joke thing?
Yeah, it's something I started a few months ago where it was basically Rodney Dangerfield of the future.
Yeah, I remember you doing this.
Yeah, I was doing it on Facebook.
Like a modern day Rodney Dangerfield?
But now I have it on Twitter. I just made a whole handle. I'm going to actually find what the...
Yeah, will you read a couple of them too? Because I remember I saw a couple and I thought they were hilarious.
Yeah, I guess I'll do that.
There were a couple really good ones. I remember going...
There's a couple terrible ones.
But that's the thing. It's okay. But it's okay if they're terrible. Yeah?
I'm going to have to do it.
Like a modern day Rodney.
I don't know if I sound like him.
It's close enough.
Let me tell you. It's close. No respect. Let me see if I can get there. My phone takes forever to load. It's 69 degrees outside right now.
Nice. That's a nice day. But yeah, I remember reading a few and I thought it was great. Like a modern day Rodney.
This is good. Silence, right?
No, I'll take this out.
Yeah. Well, how much editing.
Dude, it's not, you trust me, you won't even know. I make it sound good.
Rodney 2010s.
So Rodney 2010s.
Wes Ward Comedy is my regular one. And then there's at 2000. It's at Rodney 2010s with an S.
Okay.
RODNEY 2010S.
Okay.
I don't know which one I should read.
Just read a couple of them.
Right,
whatever. Yeah, just pick the most.
Let me tell you. I gotta tell you, I get no respect. My dating life is a mess. Even the bots on Tinder won't match with me.
That's great. See, that's something he would. That's perfect modern day Rodney right there.
Let's see. It's a lot. I asked Siri, what can I get for my?
I love the beginning already.
I asked Siri, what can I get my wife to make her happy? She said a divorce. Let me tell you.
These are brilliant. I like that.
Not even streaming services give me respect. That's my favorite part. A streaming service, like that. He would say that. I feel like
no, he would.
Like, Netflix recommended I jump off a bridge. Stuff like that.
That's hilarious.
I like it.
Man, so make sure you follow Wes Ward on all of his Twitter accounts. Yes.
Wes Ward Comedy and Rodney 2010. I have a total of 25 followers on my Millennial Rodney.
There you go. So we got to build that up.
So.
Let's build it up.
Yeah, let's build it up, people.
All right. Thanks, Wes.
Thank you.